Welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have, and yep, I'm going to call them this, two angels who are here to talk about the Walk to End Alzheimer's event coming up. Please join me in welcoming Karen Marez. Karen, you are the retention chair for the Pierce County Walk to End Alzheimer's. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great to have you here. And my old friend, and not in the sense that she's old, but I've known her for quite some time, Wendy Morris, you are the chair of the Pierce County Walk to End Alzheimer's. It's so good to see you.
It is so good to see you too, Amanda, and thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, anytime. Thank you. As busy as you and this organization are, I'm honored to have you on. So this is the first question's for both of you. I know you both have backgrounds in Alzheimer's and dementia that we'll talk about here in a minute. But how long, and Karen, I'll have you go first, have you participated in the Walk to End Alzheimer's, and why do you participate in this walk?
That's a great question. So I began my participation in the walk in 2015, the year before I lost my mom to complications from the disease after about a 6-7 year journey with it. So I jumped in and started doing walk in 2015 just with my own little team. And then I got involved in 2016 with the advocacy table and ended up jumping on the committee. And so I just kind of continued being a part of it because it's a cause that I care about deeply. I know how it affects families, and I know it affects a huge amount of people in our community. And not only did my mom have it, my aunt has it, and I've also had two uncles with Lewy body dementia who passed from that. So Alzheimer's and other dementias are very, have impacted my life. And I know they've impacted others that I love. And I worry that it might be me someday. So I'm working to try and make sure we figure that out and it changes things.
Oh, Karen, I'm so sorry, but I'm so grateful that you have turned that grief into grit. Mm-hmm. And now that you're part of the solution. Wendy, why do you do this work?
I believe in helping people. I always have. And my life has been touched by Alzheimer's and related dementias. I actually am a dementia services professional with Lutheran Community Services Northwest. And the opportunity to help coordinate people and coordinate community to really bring people together for awareness, as well as raising the funds that are needed. So it's a passion.
I can tell.
It's a complete passion.
I can tell. And you've kind of shared with me why that's important for you in terms of bringing awareness to dementia and Alzheimer's. Karen, why is this important to you? You've lost a lot of people, and you could easily and justifiably curl up in a ball and not be a part of this.
Right. And grief works itself out in a lot of different ways. Everyone's grief journey is different. But for me, it has really helped me to get involved, to try to make a difference. Besides walk, I do advocacy work and going and talking with congressional folks about bills and things that will further research. And I guess my hope is, being what I call a daughter of dementia, I'm hoping that my daughter doesn't become a daughter of dementia too. And I'm hoping maybe we can make some change and find a way to slow it down or put an end to it. Obviously, putting an end to it would be best. So absolutely. I know the impact of it, and it's hard. It's a very hard disease. There's a lot of anticipatory grief that goes on with it.
Absolutely. I have this in my family as well. And the slowly letting go of the person that you know and love every single day is, it's heart-wrenching. Mm-hmm. It really is. Wendy, so tell us, when is the 2020 Pierce County Walk to End Alzheimer's this year?
Well, this year it is walking everywhere, but our date is for September 27th. Wow. And it will kick off with online activities at noon, and people are encouraged to walk where they are. So we're hoping people will join us. They're going to lace up their sneakers and hit the pavement wherever they are at on the 27th.
Wow, I love that. So Karen, what would you add to that in terms of walking where you are? What else can we expect?
Well, like Wendy said, there's an online component that hasn't been there before. There's a new webinar component called Main Stage, which we kind of got a sneak preview of yesterday during a committee meeting, and it was fabulous. So I'm excited about that because we'll be able to kind of get involved with the opening ceremony virtually and be able to share on social media and other ways what we're doing and see what folks are doing all around the state. For my own team, we will have folks walking in several different cities because I have family and friends on my team. And so because of COVID, we're not all able to get together. So even though it's the Pierce County Walk, we'll have a few folks walking up in Whatcom County on that day. I'll be walking in King County because I now live in Auburn. And so it's, I'm hoping that in spite of this being, changing things, that it could be a good change. Maybe it's going to bring more awareness because more people are going to see the purple people out walking with our little flags and wonder what's going on, what's that about? So, maybe it'll turn into a really positive thing that we couldn't get together this year in that way. That's the hope. We're just going to keep walking because Alzheimer's isn't stopping. We have to continue, even though COVID's kind of slowed us all down on some things, we still have to keep the fight going.
That's right. And there's some silver linings to COVID that I am seeing people fight for. And this walk is a prime example of that. When we talk about the who, Wendy, who can participate in this walk?
Everyone.
Yes.
No matter what their age, what their abilities. And if for some reason we lose our summer and, walk in your house, walk wherever you can, whether you are just learning to walk, whether you're still in a stroller, whether you're 99 years old, whatever you can do, join us and show your support for the Alzheimer's Association and primarily for those who are living and helping care for those with Alzheimer's or related dementias.
Absolutely. So that beautiful call to and for support that you just so graciously put out there. Karen, when we get that support, what kind of services does it fund at the Alzheimer's Association?
Well, I'm really proud to be associated with this association because they are the largest voluntary health organization that's battling Alzheimer's care, support, and research. So one of the things that it helps to fund is, I don't know if you can see behind me, I've got the 1-800-272-3900 number. So there's a 24/7 number people can call for support. They can go to endalz.org, so it helps keep the website up and going and all the support systems that go on there. There are town halls that we do, and it used to be literally, in those towns. Now it's been virtual, that we're doing these town hall meetings where people can come and find out what's going on in their own community, in the state. There's a discovery conference that happens, I believe, once or twice a year. And the most recent one was in June. We had a fabulous doctor from the UW brain research facility that spoke. So it goes towards all sorts of different research grants, but it also goes to support. So it's, I feel like the money goes to the best places because we've got to do both. We've got to support folks that are dealing with it now, and we've got to fund research to hopefully bring an end to it for those in the future.
Absolutely. And I got chills when you said you had a town hall, because in my life with some of the illnesses that I have had to understand and deal with, the best medicine has been being around other people who are also experiencing that. So I have not felt so alone. It's given me spiritual handrails where I can call somebody and say, is this right? Is this supposed to be happening? And you can't put a price on that kind of support. That's heart medicine.
Yeah, and a huge amount of the volunteers and the folks who work with the association as a profession have a connection to the disease. So we all kind of have an understanding of it, and it's helpful.
Wendy, paint the picture for us, because I think sometimes when we think about Alzheimer's or any other form of dementia, we think about the people, as Karen gave us an inventory of people who were in her family who have suffered from this. But I think it's rare that we have a really big picture of how rampant this is in the United States. So how many people are caring for people that are suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's?
Right now, there's over 16 million unpaid caregivers. So typically family members who are caring for the over 5 million people with Alzheimer's or related dementia. Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and I believe currently is the 4th leading cause in Washington state. So it's huge. People don't realize it. And part of what the walk helps to do is to decrease that stigma of Alzheimer's and the stigma of having to care for somebody. There's not a lot of understanding about how somebody cares for somebody with some form of dementia.
So, Wendy, a question for you on that, and also for Karen. What is it like having a loved one who is experiencing Alzheimer's or dementia? I know it's a very personal question, but I also know that you two are willing to share your experiences at any cost to find a cure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Wendy, why don't you go first on answering that?
So for me, it's very personal. It goes back even to my childhood. I had a grandmother with Alzheimer's, a mom with vascular dementia, a sister with Alzheimer's, a grandpa with Parkinson's, and recently my husband was diagnosed with vascular dementia. So it's hard, but yet there's a blessing in there, because you stop and really work with the person. You remember who that person is in your life. So it's not something I would ever wish on anybody else. And I was caregiver for all those other people as well, a family caregiver. And now I'm continuing to be. But it's a journey. And there can be joy in that journey. It's just finding it and enjoying the time you have.
Yes, well said. Karen, so for you, what is it like? Because everybody's experience is different.
Right. For me, I was what you would call more of a care support partner with my dad. My dad was the main caregiver with my mom. But at the same time, he was diagnosed with cancer when she was diagnosed with dementia, and then eventually Alzheimer's. And so it was a lot on their plate. So I did everything I could to just be of support. Sometimes it was just providing him with respite care moments where he could go and do something on his own, helping to, because he was dealing with so much, just helping to research. Sometimes it just gets overwhelming. And so I could do that research and then share with him so he didn't have to look through it. He was also doing cancer research at the same time about his cancer battle. And sometimes it was just, it was, my dad would go off and I'd say, go to the Mariners game. And so he would head off to the Mariners game, and I would hang out with mom and do puzzles. And there would be moments she would forget who I was. And that's always the biggest question people ask is, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? That's one of the smallest things in this disease. I would leave the room for a moment. I'd come back, say, hi, mom. And it was like this little reconnect button. She'd remember who she was with. My mom was very social. And so I think she just thought she was somewhere doing puzzles with just strangers. And so she'd just, say, oh, well, what do you do for a living? And I'd say, I'm a teacher. And she'd say, oh, my daughter is too. I bet you'd like her. And we'd have these interesting little conversations. And then I would leave the room and come back and connect with her. And so Wendy touched on something, find the joy in the journey. I could have commiserated about that moment. And granted, the first time she forgot my name, I did some crying on the drive home, but I knew when she looked in my eyes, she knew who I was all the way pretty much till the end. So that's a big thing. And then celebrate all the little moments. Like I found that my mom did great when there was music. So I constantly surrounded us with music and the things that she loved and the things she could do. The puzzles that we did would start out at, 3,000 pieces, then down to 1,000 pieces. At the end, we were doing little 25-piece puzzles.
Yeah.
But it was still something she could do, and she still enjoyed it. And her music playing, changed from being able to, do the full gamut of a song to, just plunking a little bit here or there. But she still had it, and we tried to always bring music to her.
You certainly found the joy in those times. I know we've been showing the website where you can go to register and also learn about the drive-through and the Promise Garden. We have, as always, it seems like our time has gone by so quickly. And I want, Wendy, for you to end this by telling us, who do we need to thank?
First and foremost, we're thanking the volunteers, because they are the ones who have come together to create the Pierce County Walk to End Alzheimer's. The staff at the Alzheimers Association is wonderful, but also our sponsors, our national sponsors, Edward Jones and CVS Pharmacies, as well as some of our local sponsors, including Fieldstone Communities. We are very grateful for everybody who is coming out to support us, and also the walkers. Let's lace up and get out there and really make a difference and help people.
Yes, and Wendy, I want to add to that. I want to thank the two of you and all the teams that stand behind you, because you're walking to heal and you're also walking to remember. So thank you.
That's true.
So very, very much for your time. And I can't wait to have you back on as we can talk about all the great things that happened during that time.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
we have
much.
much more to come on Cityline. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this message.